Hi guys! Happy Thursday! It's Tabitha here with McHarper Manor. I have Abbott with me today. We are going to do some printing today. We're going to make some cool little printing plates. So I hope you guys are ready to have some fun with us. It is day 4. It's week 4, project 4. So we are almost through week 4. So week 4 is the last week that we'll be doing 5 projects a week. Starting next week, week 5, will be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then week 6, we will be Tuesday and Thursday. So it'll be every other day after that. So I hope you guys are enjoying this. I hope you guys have found your supplies for today. Special thanks to Missy and Sean from Happy Groundhog Studio. They are here helping us with the fielding your questions and responding to the things that you guys need help with while we are live. We are excited to make some fun stuff with you guys today. So I hope everybody is having a great day out there. We enjoyed the watercolor monsters yesterday. I hope you guys did too. I loved seeing the pictures from you guys. So keep sharing all the cool things you're making. Our hashtag is #MadeWithMcHarper. So keep sharing that. I love seeing them on Instagram and here too. So who we got out there today?
We have, looks like Leah from New York.
Hi guys.
Julie and Alex from Maryland.
Hello.
Kayla from Ontario, Canada.
Hello, Caleb.
Chloe from Illinois.
Chloe. We do have Emmeline. Emmeline's 10th birthday is today, so happy birthday, Emmeline.
We have friends tuning in from San Antonio, friends from Maryland.
Hi, guys.
More friends from Ohio.
Oh, our Ohio friends.
And Lizzie is here, and she is turning 13 today.
Happy birthday,
Lizzie.
Lizzie.
And it's Matthew's 12th birthday.
And happy birthday, Matthew. I hope you guys are having a great day and finding some ways to stay creative and having fun during our social distancing quarantine-nications here. We're on spring break technically this week. I mean, I feel like it's been a month of a spring break, but we're on spring break this week, so you don't have any schoolwork this week, do you? Nope, we're just kind of doing our things and having fun. We did go out to a cool park with the beach and did some fun things, but yeah, it's pretty much same old around here. You look so excited to do this today. Are you so jacked to be here? Abbott's 12, going on 17. So he's just, he's just thrilled to be part of it. And he is tired. Yeah, we had some tornadoes here last night, and we were up as a family together, kind of hunkering down until what, Tom, maybe like 12:30. Yeah, so he's a little tired. We didn't have power until like early this morning, so I think everybody's a little off their game today. All right, so we are going to get started making these printing plates. So printing plates are just, it's basically a stamp. You're just making a really cool, an image that you can recreate. So stamp over and over and over. So we're going to make these with some cardboard and some found objects today. So we're going to start with some cardboard. So we just have, Abbott and I both have pieces of cardboard to use. You'll want some paper to stamp on. Any kind of paper is fine. I've just got some mixed media paper. We also have lots of just random things that we can use to cut up and make a cool texture on here. So like this little printing plate has, some corrugate from the inside of another piece of cardboard. We've got yarn. We've got some things we can trace. We have these wobbly edge scissors that we could use with the foam that we have here, just some scrap foam, and some of these little, if you have any of those little foam stickers from like any of those little kits that you put together, we've got some leftovers from those too. We have bubble wrap. We also have just, marker, pen to outline some things that we can cut out of our foam sheets or cardboard if we wanted to use that. We have scissors to cut with, obviously. And then we also have paint and paint brushes and a palette and a water basin, because we're going to paint onto our little stamp and then we're going to use that as a stamp too. If you had if you have watercolors, that would work. It will just be a little bit more muted. We're using a little bit of acrylic here. You could use, if you have tempera paints or anything like that, any kind of paint is going to be fine. You're just going to kind of paint it on there and then lay it down like a stamp. So that is, you know, that's a cool, it's very open-ended. You could do it with anything that you have around. If you've done any of these projects before with us, you're probably going to have some type of paint that you can use. Again, we'll need some glue to kind of stick these things to our piece of cardboard that we cut down. So I have a hot glue gun, excuse me, and I have some tacky glue too that we can use. So just stuff to put on the plates, stuff to stick it to the plates, and then some paint that you can use that we can create a cool little stamp. And then you'll be able to keep this little printing plate and use it forever. Like sometimes we've used it to make like a background for something else, or you can use it to make wrapping paper or something. I know Mother's Day is coming up, not in a way too far distant future, so you could make your own gift wrap and stuff for that. Lots of cool options with these. So let's get started. Well, I'm going to take just a little piece of cardboard. We broke down a little box, so Abbott has half the box and I have half the box. And I'm just going to cut out a little piece of cardboard. So I'm going to cut these little wonky edges off of it because I want one flat, solid piece of cardboard that I can use as my plate. So we are just, I'm going to wind up with like this, like, it's like a 6x6 little square of cardboard, and that's all you need. And then we just have to decide what we want to do to this guy, how we want to embellish it. So we could take some cool things that have texture, anything like, you know, bubble wrap has really cool texture. Also, what you just cut off from the side of here, the inside of cardboard is corrugated, so it has really cool texture too. So if you peel some of that off the top of there, you get these really cool like bumps and grooves inside here. So some cardboard peels apart better than others, but you can take some of that off and you can just take a piece of that, and then you get these cool little, it'll make little stripes. So you have these nice little corrugated parts. So you can put that down in some sections too. You could take that whole little piece, or you can really choose what you do with it, but you just want to put some texture on here. So I'm going to peel some of this paper off of here and kind of make a little cardboard part. What are you guys using out there? What's everybody going to add to their little thing? You could use styrofoam plates. If you don't have like foam sheets, you could use styrofoam from takeout boxes or from plates or whatever, and kind of cut some of that foam out. You just want something to be raised off of the surface of this, okay? So whatever is laying flat, whatever's lifted up off there, as long as it's, you know, 1/8 of an inch or higher, that's gonna be able to make an impression when you lay it down versus what's flat. So when I print with this, I get, let me show you over here. When I print with this, I get the print of what's on here and not the flat part, okay? So that's really what we're going for. This little rainbow is this guy, and he's flattened down. This little, you see where these little guys that we've made in the heart, and they just take the impression, and then that's what you get. So I'm gonna take some of this. What are you gonna use, bud?
I don't know.
You can take some, cut some foam up.
Yeah.
So our friends at home are using buttons and foam,
Yes.
egg cartons and bubble wrap and
Perfect.
packing peanuts,
Yes.
foamy stickers and feathers and pom-poms, a
Yes.
cut-up sponge,
Perfect.
aluminum foil.
Aluminum foil will
yarn.
work too. That's cool. Anything that you guys can think of to just kind of add to these and make some texture. So I'm gonna cut this in half, and I'll have 2 little squares. So then once you get going, you can just kind of glue it onto your sheet or onto your little plate that you've made. So I'm gonna have one of my squares up here, and then I might put the other square in the opposite direction down here in this corner. His little Stuff will go up and
Ooh,
down.
rubber bands, a walnut,
Yes.
and cotton balls.
Rubber bands will make great little impressions, especially those little like circles off of the top of your milk jug. Like when you open the cap on the milk jug and you got that little ring that's left, those are great too. Lots of cool different things. Yarn is a cool one. So we could take some yarn and we could even make like a little spiral with it. So I'm gonna let my hot glue gun heat up for a second, and then I'm probably gonna put some yarn on here. So we have all these birthdays out here while I'm waiting for my hot glue gun to heat up. What are you guys doing special for birthdays? I'm interested to know what everybody that's had a birthday in quarantine in the time of social distancing, I'm interested to know what you guys did for your actual birthday. Also, if you have a hot glue gun, you can actually just use the hot glue gun to make you could use it to make a raised up part.
Well, somebody else is using perler beads.
Yes, perler
Those are
beads are
cool.
great. Yes. This hot glue gun is just sticky. This looks like a pretzel. Once I put the, I went to make a heart and he looks like a pretzel. Maybe I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I want carbs.
Carb loading.
Oh, some birthday ideas are coming in.
Yeah?
Some people are dropping cupcakes off at their friend's house and then having a Zoom party.
That's so sweet. I like that.
We have people posting signs and honking as you pass.
That's cute.
More Zoom parties, FaceTime for cake and presents.
Super fun.
Elephant themed birthday parties.
That is super cute.
Letting the person whose birthday it is choose what they want to do all day.
Ooh, that sounds kind of like how things go in our house. We're more like, you get to choose dinner and the activity.
Oh, Chrissy's got the right idea. They're eating steamed crabs and ice cream cake.
Oh my gosh,
I
that
wanna go
sounds.
there.
Chrissy, is it okay if we don't abide by social distancing and
Yeah.
we come eat crabs and ice cream cake with
Can
you?
you drop that off at our house and
Yeah.
we'll Zoom call you?
Thanks. So we'll Zoom call you and we'll enjoy together. That sounds amazing. Okay, so there's one little guy. You can use that yarn to make it stand up a little bit. Let's see. Oh, look at you over here. I like this. So Abbott loves graffiti art. So he made a little spray can. So with your lines, how you want to make that to kind of have a separation there is you can go in and you could cut and then glue that part and then separate each section. You know what I mean? So like for my rainbow, there's a gap there and that's what makes it. So you could cut that out, cut those two stripes and then glue it separate so that it actually separates so you can tell what piece is what piece. Yeah. So yeah, cut on your lines and then glue him down. And then you'll cut your next line and glue that one above it, but leave a tiny space because that's what'll create that negative space and that's what'll create your lines. Very cool, bud. Okay, so we're just, putting some little stuff down on here. I think this was from an Easter kit that we had a couple years ago. These little stickers I found.
Chrissy said, we're welcome to come to Maryland as long as we stay 6 feet away.
Thank you, Chrissy. That sounds wonderful. That sounds wonderful. Okay, I think I'm gonna I'll draw something out. Maybe I'll see, that's perfect, dude. And then you can even cut that, the little blast off of it, and that'll kind of make it
That's cool.
pop out. It is very cool, isn't it? And then you can start gluing your stuff down when you're ready. Here's the hot glue gun. I think I'm gonna do a little rainbow again, just because I love the rainbow. And I'll show you guys how I do that.
Julie said they're using foam and they're using some of the clay tools to push into the foam and indent
Yeah, you definitely can do that. You just want to create like a little recess. So that makes it, that's perfect. We use these little things. They're like styrofoam, and we kind of push into them and use those as printing plates here in the studio when we do printmaking camps for kids. And yeah, as long as you get some sort of impression on there, it'll work out nicely. And you can even use the styrofoam itself. You don't even have, if you have a big enough piece of styrofoam from like a takeout box or something, you don't even have to put this on cardboard. You can actually just use that, use the styrofoam and make impressions in it with, the back of your brush or something like that. I wonder if this is too big. I might have made that too big. That's okay. So I'm gonna cut out a little rainbow here. And I am gonna leave a little gap in between, just like I was telling Abbott. If you leave that gap, if you leave that negative space, that's what's going to create your white part that stays on your paper. There we go. So I'm just creating some little empty spaces with this rainbow that I'm creating. There we go. So yeah, you just want to give yourself some negative space. And maybe I'll move that over there. Maybe I don't have quite enough room for my rainbow as I thought I would. How you doing, bud? Good? All right. Okay, so rainbow is ready to roll. We're gonna glue him down right here. Looking good.
Pamela wants to know if you think like jewel stickers will work.
They will. They just, things that have a little bit of give to them work a little bit better. Something that, you can press down. If you have something that's really hard and your surface isn't as hard, it can kind of like bend around and you'll lose some of that negative space. But I mean, anything with texture is going to be fine. You're just going to have to play with it and realize, just observe what's working and what's not and kind of adjust it. If you're not getting the desired result, just adjust it and see what works better. But yeah, try anything you want. What's the worst that can happen? It can ruin a cardboard printing plate and you have to make a new one. That's why I like to use supplies that aren't super expensive and, surfaces that you can just grab a new one if you need it. Okay, so I made a little rainbow here, and maybe I'll just move this little guy's counterpart up here.
I think people are also using potatoes.
Yes, potatoes are great printmaking tools. So When we have classes here in the studio with little kids, we do, printmaking and process art with little kids, and we take all sorts of vegetables. Like we'll take apples and we'll take citrus things and we'll dip them in paint and then print with them. And celery, if you chop celery all the way down at the bottom, you get this really beautiful rosette. It kind of looks like a succulent, and you can print that right off. It's so pretty. And potatoes, you can cut into all sorts of shapes. But yeah, you can use tons of food that, anything that you can cut into a shape, you can print make with anything. I mean, you really can. So this is just a fun technique for something that you can hang on to for a while. The food is definitely something that you can use and then throw away when you're finished. That looks good, bud. Are you going to do anything else on the side? You going to do some bubble wrap or something over here? Bubble wrap's cool. I like that guy. What else are we going to make?
Amy didn't have a lot of stuff to make impressions, so she's just using hot glue.
You
and making
can.
patterns.
You totally can. You can use just straight hot glue. And that gives you lots of opportunities for cool stuff. Let's see, what else am I going to use? I'm going to take some more of these little dots. Maybe there's like a little butterfly in here. Could do that. Abbott, yours could blast out butterflies. I know, that's totally your jam. What are you making? Are you making the LeBron symbol? There you go.
I made it right.
I mean, close enough. What else can we use over here? Bubble wrap, I love. I love to use it just because it's such a cool, you get these perfect little circles. So you can cut some of the pieces out of that. When you cut through the bubbles, you really are deflating them, so you won't get as much of the, perfect little round bubbly look. But I'm gonna throw some of that on there just for fun.
Brianna wants to know if you're using the foam sheets.
I am. I'm using foam sheets, all sorts of things. You can use, like, seriously, the top of a takeout container, anything. You can use anything you have for this. This one's like a dumpster project, man. Like, you can use anything you can find, and it will work. It's just varied results with different textures and different firmness of things. You can even cut the same thing out of paper over and over and over again and then stack it up, and it'll make a thick thing too. So maybe we'll try that with these little stars over here. If you stack it up, it'll have some dimension. As long as you have something that is raised a fair amount above what the flatness of your cardboard or whatever surface you're using, as long as it's raised above that, it's gonna be able to make an impression and leave some negative space. And that's all we're looking for. Negative space is just where it's not gonna touch, where what we are printing is not gonna touch. So our cardboard right here, that's gonna be our negative space. It's what's gonna leave the white on the paper when we print.
Tamara wants to know where your videos will be. She said she is looking for them later.
They are on YouTube every day. So after we're finished here, after the live is finished, we upload everything to YouTube, and then you can access it all there. So there are different playlists also. You can access from week 4 playlists. You can access painting videos from painting video playlists, sculpture playlists, but they're all there, and they are all sorted by the week. So you can go back and do all the week 1s again. You can do whatever you would like. But that's where they live, YouTube. And that's where they will live forever. I know some of you guys are really excited about the membership options. What we've created for free through this 4 weeks of content and the coming, week 5 and 6, smaller releases, all of that is going to live out there forever for free. You can do all of that again and again and again. Nothing that we've done together is ever going away. You guys don't need to worry about that. It's all going to live here forever. So if you did not get to, the watercolor in week 2 that you wanted to do. No stress, no hurry. It's going to live on YouTube on our little channel forever. So, and we're going to continue to do live streams. We're just not going to do them every day. So we'll do, maybe a couple a month that are just for fun, and we'll give you guys a heads up and time to gather your materials and stuff for that. We're just not going to be able to do it every day. So our studio, it could be months before we're operational again. So we have to find some way to kind of sustain this moving forward. And just, doing live videos every day of the week takes out a huge chunk of time. It takes a lot of energy and a lot of planning, and it's, to do the subscription thing, we're going to be able to knock out a lot of videos in one day and put them up there for you guys to do. And I think that way is just going to be a little bit easier for everybody. And it's going to be able to just sustain the studio so that once all the social distancing stuff is kind of behind us, we're able to still have a studio to open our doors to people in the community and continue to make art with people. So I think that's super special, and I think it's the best way to approach it. So we're excited that you guys are excited about it, and we're really looking forward to having it all up and ready for you in the next couple weeks. So I think my little printing plate is coming together. How about yours? Looking good?
Yeah.
Here's the hot glue if you want to use that.
Do you have any ideas for people who, it looks like somebody ran out of hot glue, something else they could use?
We're using tacky glue and hot glue together. You can use just a regular, you can use tacky glue. It just takes a second longer to set up. So if you see, my cardboard stuff that I did was on here with tacky glue, and it stays. So I think that that's a good option too. And I'm actually using the tacky glue on some of my foam pieces, my smaller pieces too. Did you burn yourself with hot glue? It happens, man. It does. That's why hot glue is not for the faint of crafting heart.
All right.
Yeah, Joanna said she's letting her 10-year-old use the hot glue gun unassisted
Yep.
today for the first time. So.
So it's so funny. We do camps. We do a dollhouse camp, and we do a puppy and kitty camp. And those are ones that we really have to use the hot glue gun a lot for. So we, in the beginning of the week, we ask the parents and the kids who's comfortable with using a hot glue gun, who has used them before. Are you interested in learning? Are you comfortable with your kid learning? Because they will burn themselves once, but not really again, usually. We use the little silicone finger protector sometimes, but sometimes that really limits their dexterity, and they learn so much. And I have little 6 and 7 and 8-year-old kids that will be champions with the hot glue by the end of the week. It's kind of a little nerve-wracking to get them comfortable with it, but the biggest thing is the fear. Once they're comfortable with it, it's fine. The fear factor of it, it's like learning to cook. You can't use a knife when, you can't start off cooking with a knife, but you do learn and you get more comfort with it. So yeah, I encourage kids to use hot glue guns. The low temperature hot glue guns are pretty safe. And once you build up that comfort level with it, you can do a lot of cool things. You doing okay?
Mm-hmm.
Ours, however, is not a low temperature hot glue gun. You burnt? You okay?
Not really.
Yeah, you did pretty good. You're good.
Nicole wants you to know that they're doing the paper marbling with the Girl Scout troop later today.
Awesome. I
Yeah.
love that. I love it. Are you guys going to do a Zoom call with it, or are you just going to all commit to doing it at the same time? I'm interested to see how you guys are doing it, because I would love to do some things with my troop. We have 5th grade brownies, or not brownies, 5th grade juniors. I'm so used to calling them brownies. They'll be cadets next year, and I'm still calling them brownies. But I would love to maybe wrap my head around a way that we could get the Girl Scouts together and do that. I think maybe a Zoom call would work. They do that for school. But let me know what you guys are doing. I'm interested to hear. All right, you ready to start? You got yours?
Yeah, I'm trying to
Here.
get this glue off.
I'll put some down here. Let me see the back of that. There you go. Smear that out for me. All right. Okay.
Hey, Abbott, somebody's saying hi.
Pamela Turnbull.
Pamela Turnbull. You know anybody in the last name Turnbull?
All right, just fans.
Just fans.
They say hi.
Pamela says hi.
Say hi back. Hi.
All right, well, now that we've got a printing plate, he's going to finish his. I'm going to put a little bit of paint on my palette. So I'm going to do a little bit of pink, yellow, and turquoise, I think. Or we'll call it a little bit of coral. So I'm just taking a little bit of acrylic and throwing it on here. And I am going to take a medium. This brush is like, I don't know, 1/2 inch, 3/8 of an inch. And I'm just going to go through and I'm going to take a little bit of paint, and I'm going to work kind of quickly, but I'm going to paint some of this stuff on here randomly with my acrylic. Now, if your acrylic dries a little too fast, you could add some water to it, but I'm just going to paint some of these little things on here. You can also roll some of this paint out, and you can dip your little stampy plate here into it too. So I'm not going to worry too much about washing my brush too much. I'm going to just kind of put my paint on here, not super thick, but enough to coat it. Paint some of these things. Maybe paint my little pretzel guy up here yellow. Paint some of it. I'm just quickly putting some paint on here. And you could, mix colors. You could go on top of the one. Maybe I'll put some yellow on this one. And then I'm going to switch to that pink over here. I'm just going to kind of throw it on there, not worrying too much about what it's getting. You don't really need to worry too much about the edges of anything. You just want to kind of cover up those areas that you're trying to recreate on your piece of paper.
Charity said they did your shrinky dink project with their troop.
Yeah.
She said she's a fellow leader.
That's
She
awesome.
delivered supplies to each person's house, and then they all got on a call and did it together.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that. All right, so after I painted it, I just flipped it over. Here's a brush for you. Do you want a smaller brush too? There's a smaller brush too. And then you can pick whatever colors you want, bud. All right, so I flipped my little guy over, and then I lifted him up. And there you can see, some of it is kind of, some of it's a little bit sparse in spots. Some of it could use a little touch up, but I kind of like the brush stroke look of it. I like the way that you could see where some of it, where some of it made its way through and some of it didn't. Cool thing is, Tom, will you give me one of those spray bottles with water over there? If we take a little bit of water and we just kind of moisten it back up a little bit, you can get a second print out of it. This is to water my plants with, so hopefully it's not too, the jet's not too big. But I'm going to just wet it down a little bit, and then I'm going to do another print, and let's see how he turns out. Yeah, see, that one's a little bit more muted, but it still looks really cool. And you can see some of the things that you put down are not picking up as well as other things. So like my little star over here, he's not doing great, but it might be because it was yellow, or it was paint on top of paper that I stacked up, so it might have just dried too quickly. So that could be it too. So, just play around with it, and then when you're ready to add more paint back on, maybe I add a little bit more this time. Go through, add some more. Maybe maybe I'm not washing my brush this time and things are getting marbled. Got a little green over here. Plop a pink in the center just because I can. A little, you know, mixing of some of these colors. Throwing some of that on there. I'm really just putting, you know, more paint on everything and ramping it back up. And then we'll try printing it again and seeing what happens. And you can find where the recesses are, where the areas that the paint's not sticking as well. And you can try something different there. If you just peel something off your little plate and you try, you know, maybe a different shape or something. Or you can just make a whole nother plate. You can make a whole nother printing plate and you can kind of stagger them. You can make repeating patterns. You can, you know, take saran wrap and cover half of it off and only print with half the plate. Say you don't like the top side, you're like, I don't like this one. You could cut it in half with scissors. All right, so I'm gonna try this one again and see what happens. Let's go right here. And I'm just kind of smoothing it down, pressing it down, making sure I got everything. And then peel them up. Yeah. And there where I kind of plop the colors on top of each other. Looks kind of cool. Oh, how are you doing, bud? That looks good. And then I could try one more just to see if it prints off with what I have left on it. And yep, it's just a little muted, but you get a really cool repeating pattern. And even my little stars coming through on that side. Let's see. Let me pull this little piece of, there we go. And then you can rub. There we go. Lift them up. Oh, that looks awesome. Like his little spray paint can. So you can see where you missed some of the areas. So what you could do is you can take a wet brush and just kind of wet that back through. Wet that a little bit. Just keep it moving. Hold that plate for me. There you go. All right, try it again over. Try it on the top or try a separate piece. Yeah, try that.
Ooh, you're all Banksy over there.
Yeah. It's so pretty.
This is like all the Banksy colors.
Yeah. Yeah, see? And you can find where it's not. And the cool thing is, if you see a certain spot that's like not holding its paint very well, and you really like that area that you've got, you can just go back through and you can just fill it in, you know? That looks rad. I love it, dude. Very cool. So yeah, these are great just ways to make a really interesting print that you can recreate over and over and over again. Say I didn't love how this one turned out, and I'm like, you know what? I just want to keep this little rainbow. I like the rainbow. So I'm going to keep the rainbow here. So I just made myself a rainbow stamp. All right. And then I'm like, I kind of like these together. But I didn't like the rest of it. So now I have two different stamps that I could use. And I could do just the rainbow. So I could go reload my little rainbow part. Throw some pink on there. And you could do just your LeBron or whatever, your little LeBron symbol or whatever it is. And then
Joanna wants to thank you for your artistic gifts.
oh, thank you.
And then her
Joanna.
daughter's been enjoying all the classes.
Oh, you're so welcome. I'm glad. That's the goal, man, is just to get everybody creating and doing something fun. Yeah, just pull a sheet out of there for Ab. It's
Yeah,
perforated on
get
the edge.
Another sheet.
Yeah, it's perforated on the edge. All right, so say I just wanted to do just this little cool rainbow guy. I could do here
There you go.
and lift him up, and then I can change the way it goes. I could do a sideways rainbow, and I could create a repeating pattern across the sky. And maybe even blast him with a little bit of water and do an upside down one.
We did these last winter on like big sheets of craft paper.
Yeah, for wrapping paper, yeah. So yeah, you could just, give yourself freedom to go wild with it, because they are able to be used in a myriad of ways. But yeah, you get like a really cool, if you just take one element of it, you can get a really cool repeating pattern on there, and it's super fun. So you could have the wild and crazy like the one side, or you could have just really simplistic, one little rainbow or whatever you made. If I did this guy over here, give him a little more paint. Let's see how he turns out. But we do a lot of block carving and things in classes here, and it's a really similar process, but more intricate. This is one that spreads wide across age bases. The block printing is one that I would suggest for more ages 10 and up. You have to use the lino knives with it and kind of carve things out, and I've definitely taken gouges out of my fingers multiple times doing that. So that's a big kid camp around here, which is a fun one. But block printing is a great thing if you really like the process of printmaking. This is a fun way to do it with younger kids without, carving things. All right, so we'll try this cool little stamp by itself. And sometimes if you're having a hard time, if you made like a big plate and you're having a hard time getting even control across it, and you've got some spots that are not leaving great impressions, sometimes it's helpful to cut it down so you can apply direct pressure. And then that water on there is going to soften this guy up a little bit and see if we can get one more print out of him.
Carol said they like this project, but they are making another wedding cake today at the Rattlesnake Inn.
Sounds about right. Patsy gets in her groove. She has certain things she likes, and she'll just recreate them over and over and over again. And that's what I hope you guys find what you love too. That's why I try to offer so many different things so that you guys can really find what you love. So these are, fun things that you can do. And yeah, that looks great, Abbott. Things that you can, repeat and adjust if necessary. Maybe the first time you did it, it sparked an idea for something else that you wanted to do for a related project, but just a different, a different design or a different format. Looks good, bud.
Do you have any tips for someone who's having a hard time getting the paint to print?
It may be too dry. You might need to wet it a little bit, or you might need to just work a little faster. So for me, if my stuff is drying out, so right now this little rainbow is completely dried out. I would just take some water and run over it and move kind of quickly. And move that water around. And you just want to rehydrate it a little bit, and then you can stamp it again. And even though it was just dry a minute ago, it will restamp because it's rehydrated. Maybe add more paint, maybe get a little bit of water in there, maybe just move a little more quickly, and you'll find if maybe what you're doing is too big to get through the whole thing before the print plate dries. And you can kind of cut it down into pieces like I did with mine. So you could take one little section and do that one all over, and then take your next little section and do that one all over. But yeah, it's usually just a hydration issue in my experience with it. It looks great, bud. I love it. You did such a good job. All right. Well, that pretty much concludes this one. I hope everybody liked making them. I hope you guys continue making these things and enjoying them together. We do still have a prize that we're giving away this week from Happy Groundhog Studio and from McHarper Manor. So Happy Groundhog Studio, we are doing this sweet little cloud. And if you want to shop these things and not just wait to win them, you can always go to the Happy Groundhog Studio on Etsy and find Missy's stuff there. This is this week's giveaway. We also have our little Future World Changer shirt for this week's giveaway too. And that one comes in sizes 2T all the way up through kids extra large. We don't offer this one in adults because it says Future World Changer. So we do have the Be the Change for adults, which is the globe one that I wear sometimes. So yeah, those are our giveaways for this week. Just use that hashtag Made with McHarper, and that way you'll have a chance to win. We pick 2 winners each week. Tomorrow we're going to make sock puppets. If you do not have a sock or something that you want to use for that, you could use a sock, you could use like an old oven mitt, you could use whatever you have laying around, but you could also use a paper bag. Those paper lunch sacks are great too. You can use one of those for puppets, but we're just going to make some puppets tomorrow. And we're also going to talk about some ways that you could use some bigger Amazon boxes or some big rolls of leftover wrapping paper or something that you may have that has, you know, a blank surface on the back that you can use to make your own set. And maybe you guys will make a really cool puppet show for, you know, your family this weekend. But tomorrow we're doing puppets. So for that, you're just going to need either a sock or a paper bag, something, some form for your puppet, his little mouth and head. You are also going to need basic craft supplies. So pom-poms, googly eyes, felt, foam, any of the stuff that we've been using to embellish things. Anything we used on the cakes are a great idea for this too. Googly eyes, wiggly eyes, if you have them, are awesome. Scissors and craft paint and brushes. If you want to paint the sock itself, you can use that too. If you have fabric paints, puffy paints, anything like that laying around, it's a great opportunity to use those too. Anything you guys want, really. We're just going to put these together. What are you laughing about, Tom?
Oh, I'm laughing at Nicole Watson. She said an old sweater sleeve that got ruined at art date night.
Nicole, did you really do that? I thought you were just talking about me, like ruining my yellow sweater that I wore. Oh my goodness. Yes, if you did ruin that sweater, you cut that arm off and you stitch up the top. Missy taught us how to sew. Stitch up that top and make a little puppet out of that. I think that would be hilarious. I love it. So yeah, you guys gather up some stuff. Tomorrow we'll play, we'll make some puppets, and we'll have a good time. So I hope you all had a great time today. I know we had fun. I loved watching Abbott make a really cool print. I hope you guys learned some things and had fun too. Any other questions out there? No?
There is. Nicole was also asking about date night, if it's going to
Date night. So yeah, we were working with somebody to try to put together a cool candle kit for you guys, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. They're just not able to get it together. So we are looking for alternatives, but we will have another date night as soon as we can comprise a list of pick another good project, put together the things that you guys will need and get it all out there to you and give you enough time. We are definitely doing another date night. Tom needs another date night. I know I need another date night. So yeah, we're definitely going to do that too. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for hanging with us. I hope you all had a great day. Take care of yourselves. Get out in the sun if you've got it. And just enjoy each other. And we'll see you tomorrow, 1 o'clock, same time, same place. If you can't catch us live, catch us over on the YouTube channel for the replay. And we will see you tomorrow, guys. Take care. Have a great night.